and gentlemen, welcome back to part 3 of the Unity 2D basic game tutorial, and today we're going to be looking at collisions, so colliding our player with the 4 spikes that we have laid out here by using a script. Now the script's pretty basic, so after we've done that we're actually going to do something else. So we're actually going to make the player be able to collide with the ceiling and hang from it. So the player will collide with the ceiling and then be able to hang, so basically stick to it and then move across, so we can actually get past these 4 things here, like I showed you in the first tutorial when I first played the game. So let's just get straight into it. So we're going to right click on our script, so we're going to go asset script and we're going to right click and create a new JavaScript, and we'll call it player collision, I guess. I mean, you can call it what you want, don't want me. And tomorrow develop's gonna load up for me. Now in the collision, we're not actually going to be using the function update, nor are we going to use function start. We're actually going to use another function that's built into Unity called onCollisionEnter2d. Now this is basically the same as onCollisionEnter, which is in the 3D version of Unity, but obviously we're using the 2D engine, so we need to put 2D at the end of it. And what this is going to do is it's going to check for a collision from an object. So if an object collides, basically, well, I'll explain it when we write it down. When we write it, I'll explain it. So what we're going to do here is going to go write function. So it's function, and then this is a pretty long one. So yeah, on capital O collision enter 2D bracket call semicolon collision 2D. And this is calling the built-in function of onCollisionEnter2d. Now in that, obviously we need to do curly brackets, whatever you want to call them, and we do an if statement because we need to do if, and you check if it's true or false. So we're going to do if bracket call dot game object dot tag equals. Now remember, we're doing double equals because we're checking and not defining value player. Then we want to now after that we want to do something because we want to restart the level, don't we? So we're going to put application dot load level bracket application dot loaded level name bracket semicolon, and that's all we need to do for the collision. So Control S that, go back at Unity and add player collision to your player. If we play, we should not collide, and there's a big reason for this, because we need to set our spikes to have a collision on them, because as you can see at the moment we don't, and that's because we're great like that. So because it's a triangle, we don't want to put box collider, because then you would be able to collide obviously with this invisible area, and you know, we don't want that. So we're just going to put a polygon collider on it, and as you can see you get a green outline on the outside, so that way we collide with the triangle, and we can do that for each one of these. So 2D polygon collider. Now make sure you're doing a physics 2D one, because we are colliding, we are using the 2D engine, so it won't work if you don't do it. So yeah, now hopefully when we press play we collide and we don't die. And again, the reason for that is because we put the player collision on the wrong thing. You actually need to put player collision on our spikes. Or at least I think, I don't remember rightly that we do that, but yeah, okay. We put them on our spikes, so player collision, player collision, player collision. So you have to put the collision on our spikes, and I'll explain why in a minute. Let me just double check. I've got 2 on there. Great. Player collision. So we can just go on player and remove that collision script. Don't need it. So once you applied the player collision script to the spikes that you want to die from, just go back into modern develop, and I'll explain what this function does. So when we say function on collision enter 2D, we are calling a built-in function, basically called on collision enter 2D, that is set in Unity to deal with collisions. And basically, it already has preset coding that basically says, right, this object is colliding with this object, and he wants us to do something with this object. So we're saying if collision.gameObject.tag equals player. So remember before we went on the player and we set the tag to player. We're saying if the game object has the tag of player, when it collides with the object that the script's on, we want it to reload the level by saying application load level. So when the game object of the player tag collides with the script, the object that's got the script on, we want to load the level. So that's basically what we're doing, and as you can see, it's working because we collide and die, and it loads the level again. As you can see, we can stick. Now we need to fix this because obviously when we jump, we just stick to the roof and get stuck. And we don't want that, do we? We want to be able to move when we hit that, so we can use the ceiling to our advantage. So what we need to do here is open up our player collision and add another collision to that. So let's open up go back into modern develop and open up your player collision script, or player movement script, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, player movement script. And we need to add another variable, and this variable is going to be basically I call it a side collision, but really it could be what we want to call it. So we'll just call it a side collision. So variable side collision equals false. Now this is basically going to work the same way is falling works, but we're going to change it around a little bit. So down in your function of on collision, we're just going to put the side collision equals false variable in, and we'll basically do another if statement like this one here. Yeah, but we're not. So basically, well, we are basically going to copy this, but instead of putting is falling, we're going to put side collision. So if we just copy this, we need to put comment, call it roof collision, and all we need to change here is that obviously this needs to be side collision. So side collision, and then is falling now side collision, and that should do it. That's literally all you need to do, because what we're saying here is if the person presses space and they collide with the object, well, they collide with an object, we want their velocity to be exactly the same, and then it wants to set the side collision true. So I'll say that again in a little bit more detail. So if the person presses space and side collision equals false, so they're not touching any objects, then rigid body velocity on the y-axis, so to the right, equals 8. And then if they are doing this, then it obviously means that they are they're not in the air, so they are colliding with an object, which makes side collision equal true. So yeah, let's Control S that, go back in Unity and try it out. And it won't work. So after much beta testing, and by that I mean literally 2 minutes, I didn't actually have anything wrong. In fact, the problem is that we don't actually have enough movement speed when we collide, because when we collide, the movement speed is actually slowed down a little bit. So for instance, if we press play and we collide, it appears that we're not moving because we don't have enough velocity to move. What I mean by that is, when we collide with this object, for instance, our velocity here, our move speed is set to 3. When we collide, when we collide with the block, it takes away our velocity by about, I think it's 2.5. So we only have a 0.5 movement speed, which means we don't actually move. For instance, if we take it to, let's say, 5, and we press play, as you can see, we move fine. And the reason this is because we're using velocity, and obviously velocity in real life, it's only going to take you off. It's not going to... So, anyway, another way we could do it is by using a vector 3 in the direction of up or forward, and we could do it that way. But that would be for another lesson, because people are going to get confused. But yeah, basically the problem is when you collide with objects with velocity, you lose velocity, and obviously our velocity was too slow. So we need to add a high velocity, and in which case we moved. So moving the velocity to 5 or even 7 is enough. As you can see, there we go, and it goes like that. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed, and this will be the end of the actual video series, because we've completed what we need to do. I've shown you guys how to create a player movement using velocity. I've showed you guys how to collide with objects using the collision that's built in with Unity. I've also shown you how to use variables and functions, and hopefully that is a lot of basicness that you've took from that. Hopefully you know the layout of Unity now, you know the inspector, you know how to create scripts and stuff like that, and you know a little bit of JavaScript yourself. So you can take this away and try and make some cool platformers for yourselves. Any comments or any issues you're coming into, just drop a comment and I'll be sure to help you out. And I'll have all of these scripts and stuff like that. Basically I'll have the whole project. I'll upload that to the interweb so you can download. Yeah. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and share with your friends so they can learn too. And I'll see you guys in the next Unity, which I don't know when I'm going to do, but maybe we'll look around at some 3D stuff. I don't know. Anyway guys, see you guys later, and hope you enjoyed and had fun. Bye.